What's up, everybody? My name is Adam Palmer. This is Daily Nonsense. On today's show, we are going to be talking about the Topps Chrome Nick Kurtz superfractor autograph that was pulled and a Giannis Tyson Beck sports card collaboration. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you are a new viewer, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Now let's get into today's episode. The player who is probably going to win AL Rookie of the Year, Nick Kurtz. I looked at his odds earlier today, and they were like minus 10,000 for him to win Rookie of the Year. I was a big Jacob Wilson guy, like towards the beginning of the season. I mean, he's a phenomenal, like minor league crazy hitter that had all these like crazy hitting stats. And I don't really understand fully why the Athletics are so bad. It feels like they have a lot of young talent. Maybe it's a pitching issue. Maybe it's just they haven't been able to put everything together. I don't know for sure, but like Nick Kurtz, and I think Roman Anthony's like minus 2 or plus 2,000 or something. So it would really be, I think even if Nick Kurtz were to hypothetically get hurt here, he still probably wins AL MVP. He had that crazy 4 home run game right before the National, which I heard some people saying going into that show that he was going to be the big player. But like the one thing that I noticed at the show was like there wasn't really one player or any one sport that really dominated. So I was a little bit surprised. And honestly, it could just be that Nick Kurtz's cards are still coming out. Like if he had cards already, like rookie autos or rookie cards just in general, or if his cards weren't redemptions, which that's kind of a part of what we're going to talk about today. But if he had cards that were out, they would because Topps Chrome is still coming out. They would probably have been the card of the National. There really wasn't one, if I'm going to be honest. Like I saw like a lot of everything at the show. But so Nick Kurtz has the redemptions in Topps Chrome, which I think is unfortunate. I think like with the debut patch autos, they did just the card design with the, that was the redemption. That was a redemption for all of those. I really think that's what they have to do for these redemptions because they just look so not good. I don't really know how to really describe it other than like, I get that they're getting the point across, but at the same time, like, I just not sure if they know ahead of time that they can't get the autographs in there, then I feel like they need to figure out a new option for the redemptions to at least make them look a little bit better because these cards are selling for hundreds of dollars on eBay and we've already seen the prices come down. I mean, when this product first came out, like it really was an interesting, it was maybe the craziest timing of any product and a player having a performance on the field. Like Kurtz hit that 4 home runs and he goes 6 for 6. And then Topps Chrome is like out around the same time. So he's going to end up being the player, probably the big player in that set. I believe the James Wood 1 of 1 non-auto has been pulled. Also, I saw Topps was tweeting about that, but I just wish that they would be able to figure out how to make the redemptions look better because I know Michael Rubin has talked about getting rid of redemptions in general, and I don't necessarily see that happening. I don't see that happening because I think athletes and the card companies, there are going to be issues getting these autographs back. And I have seen other people pull Kurtz autographs. So I think Topps has the autographs similar to like in 2020, I believe it was 2020 Contenders. Joe Burrow he had all of his autographs. He signed all the cards. He just didn't send them in time. And that's why his autographs were redemptions in that Contenders product. So if you sent the card in, you got the card immediately. I feel like that's the case here with Nick Kurtz. Like we'll see when these cards do start to come back, what they end up selling for, because those cards are, unfortunately, he is the big rookie of the moment. And it's always a good reminder. Just be careful if you want to buy him. I would even, my suggestion would be not to buy because I just don't see. We have seen too much historical data that shows that the first cards of players, when they get released, go up and then they slowly go down. Even the first cards, not even just in a single product, but the first cards in general, we see those cards slowly decline. And if he goes on to be whatever, the next Mike Trout, even Mike Trout's cards have done that. So the historical data would say don't buy him right now. Wait for the offseason, even wait for maybe the playoffs, because the Athletics are not making the playoffs, unfortunately. Like, I think at this point, they're just not, they just don't have the record. There is a new product that Tyson Beck put out. And if you don't know Tyson Beck, he's a sports designer. I would argue he's probably the GOAT sports designer, like maybe the best sports designer of all time. I have known him since before I was into sports cards. Before I was in sports cards, I was just doing sports posters. A Palmer Media is my Instagram, of my old Instagram, if you want to go check that out. I've got some card stuff on there too, because I was redesigning some cards. But so when I was doing that, Tyson Beck was always the guy that I looked at, and I was like so just enamored with what he was able to do with his posters. So him and Giannis, which Tyson Beck also, he has done across the board some of the best work of non-licensed product, individual player non-licensed product. I think of anybody in the space, in that space, which is, maybe it's a small space. But I think if you are a company, if I'm Panini, I'm going out and I'm hiring Tyson Beck to be my designer going forward for my products, because they're going to lose the license. And this Giannis product, if you were to tell me this was licensed or unlicensed, I would not be able to really tell the difference. Obviously, knowing the difference, I can spot it. But if you did not tell me, if I was not into sports cards making content or into graphic design, I don't think I would be able to tell the difference between this or a licensed or an unlicensed product, because this is such a phenomenally designed product. And I know I'm glazing a little bit here, but it's such a good looking product. He's also done stuff with Topps, like he did, I believe it was a lot of the unlicensed, Bryce Young and CJ Stroud cards during their rookie season when they had that exclusive with Topps. And that is also a part of this that I think is important that I want to discuss, is the exclusive individual licenses of player autographs and player likenesses. It's bad. It's not a practice that it's not a practice I want to see continue in the sports card industry. And I think Tyson's Beck work with, he's worked with Steph Curry, he's worked with Cameron Brink, he's done a lot of Kobe stuff, he's done stuff with Giannis, he's done stuff with the biggest names in all of sports, and his stuff is all unlicensed, but he can get the autographs of these players. And it's just so impressive, the work that he's able to do with those cards, that it really drives home the point to me that, like, the exclusive autographs just shouldn't exist. And it also drives home the point that I think unlicensed product has some potential in the industry. I think, but it's dependent on the product itself. I'm not just gonna, it's not a blanket statement of all unlicensed product, because there is going to be a lot of unlicensed product that just doesn't look good. And if I am a consumer and I can find a product like this, now this is going to be a lot of not rookie, but it's going to be a lot of like patch autographs for Giannis. So that's sort of maybe the tougher part of a product like this. It's going to be a lot more higher end cards than if it was just a bunch of base cards. But like I said, if I'm Panini, I'm going out and I'm hiring Beck to do my unlicensed cards from going forward, because I think that he has an eye for it that I don't think a lot of other designers do. And sure, you're obviously going to have to get some sort of, I just talked about exclusive, but you're going to have to get some sort of exclusive deal with him potentially, or maybe not. Maybe you just hire him to do these designs and do these unlicensed stuff. And you don't make him sign like any type of exclusive, so that way he can work with other athletes potentially. Or if you're Topps, you are the one signing him. I don't know. I just think that he is a sports designer that the sports card industry really could use, not just from the standpoint of like, he knows how to make unlicensed product look good, but like, he is just one of the best designers that could help a sports card company in a bunch of different ways. His eye for the design, I think, would really help whatever company wants to bring him on for a licensed or unlicensed design, I think. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about today's topics, and I'll see everybody in the next one.